All right, let's just take a deep breath in, reach up through the sky, and open on the exhale. Again, inhale up. Reaching through the fingertips. Good. This time, reach as far back behind you as you can, pointing those fingers as you swan dive forward, up and out. Leave the head behind and roll down. On your way, roll up, tucking the chin. And we're gonna do this like 6 times, so you can just watch once and then we'll go. So up and out. Release the neck and the upper back at the bottom. Tuck the chin as you roll up through each vertebrae of the spine. I'm gonna just do that a few more times. Also, let your hips extend out as you swan dive down. All right, now just start to pulse in the feet. Make sure you guys can see my feet. That's important. All right, little nice light bounce. Not picking up the heels, just keeping it down. And now you're gonna squeeze everything, your glute, your quads, hamstring, press through the floor and hold. Get some finger cracks in there. And again, pulse. Feel that your toes are spreading across the mat. Grip with the feet, press through with the glute and raise. Hold. Start to trot the feet left and right, applying extra pressure in the bent legs. Really trying to open up the big toe. From the side. Everything's a dance move for me. Everything. All right, let's get the hips round and round. Hula hoop. And here, just get right on the lower back, upper glute. Give that a little massage as you rotate. Really make sure you're pressing through the left and the right sides, around the hip flexor and the lower back. Just breathe, relax, explore the movement, reverse directions. Try it now from a wide stance. Using that knee to kind of lead the hips. So imagine drawing a circle with your hips. I wonder if I'm talking really loud right now. Side to side. You know, I must say this is pretty cool because, you know, we're all working, but my dog is playing right here. It's not like I've ever brought my dog into Truve, although I could. But he would want to smell everything. Shake it out. Open up the hips. Little half circle, quarter circles. This is definitely more of a movement-based flex and stretch. We're not using all the normal tools that I use. This is basically designed for anyone who's been sitting down all day for multiple days like me. All right, shake it out. Let's take just past hip width. feet turned out about 45 degrees. Nice and modest, don't over rotate to protect your knees. And as you unbuckle the knees, imagine pressing those knees back towards the wall behind you as you squat down and just come up. Just about 90 degrees at most. You want to really feel, not like you're just sitting in it, but you're controlled. Nice strong horse stance and up. And let's start to take the arms up and out. Clasping like so, press through. And I'm just gonna come down behind the head and straight up. Just make sure y'all can see. So, straight down, straight up. Really push through the heel of the hand. Use your breath. The other way that you can help open up your shoulders, a technique that works for me is interlocking like this. And from there, pull the elbows back. Squat down, press up. I just got a few good cracks. I'm gonna take it to the side. Remember, anytime that you go deeper into the stretch, right? You take that inhale, expand the lungs, so you get a bigger stretch, deeper stretch. Start to place on the hip. Side to side. Good, now just take a small lunge. Forearm right on the thigh. I'm gonna take a deep breath in. Exhale as the arm comes down. Inhale up. I always like to hold it at the top, get those tight spots in the shoulder, front of the shoulder. Now, flex your hand. Actively flex it about 90 degrees and just take little circles or pulses, changing the rotation angle to get different points of the shoulder. Once your left leg gets tired, you can switch sides, go back and forth if you like. Once you're done, shake it out. Literally, just shimmy away. Bounce. Nice and relaxed. Just heating up the body, warming up the body. Open and close. Arm circles. Reverse. All right, let's take a couple of shoulder stretches. Start with across the body. Really thinking of extending, elongating the back of the shoulder. And then you can take it up overhead. These are all really basic stretches, but you do them every day and your body is going to thank you for it. I promise. Another one, you can just kind of extend and bend here from the elbow. Adds a little more mobility in the joint there. Same with the wrist, just going back and forth, round and round. Figure eights, I love figure eights. Fist and open palm. But when you make the fist, feel everything flex, shoulder, core. tighten up the whole body and then just release it. So you tighten, extend, release. All right, let me take the sweater off because it's getting warm. And here, I've been listening to so much jazz music lately, and it's such a great way to storytell without words, you know? All right, let's come down to the legs now, or back to the legs. Got my mismatched socks on. So we're just gonna take a squat. Unbuckle the knees, let the hips drop back. Really lead with the hips, load the heels with weight, and just go as low as you can. And as soon as you press up, feel your glute, press up and extend. And just trot the feet and do that a couple more times. Again, feet. Now let's go 2 squats. 1, 2, and crack. So we're not trying to do like sets and reps. We're just slowly warming up the body. We do 3. Really noticing your knees aligning with your big toes. Not letting the knees wobble as you go down. Leading with the hips, that hinge in the hip. And one more time. Okay, now we'll do the same thing, sumo squat. Feel confident in it. Engage all the muscles. Squeeze up through the glute. Let's just do like 2 more. This is still so weird for me. I keep thinking I'm by myself, like talking to myself, which I do fairly regularly anyway. All right, now feet pointed in parallel, side to side with the twist. So don't think of just reaching for your foot. Think of elongating, reach up out of the spine simultaneously. So come around, bend that leg, side to side. Trying to keep the shoulders squared up, whichever direction they're pointing. If you prefer, you can always use your hands, or if you have a chair, which is why I have the chair here, just use that to support yourself with the forearms like that. And we're really trying to get the inside of the groin, right? And then you can start to go to the flex. Can you also, I don't know if you can see my foot, but. Right, so flex. Ooh, my big old foot. Flex the foot up, side to side. And again, you don't have to go all the way. If you want to do smaller range of motion, of course, just whatever feels good. All right, and then we'll take that down to the ground. Bow. All right, so we're on the ground now, and we're just gonna go into a little bridge. So you go over the toes and the force arch. Let the hips come forward, open up the shoulders. And for your hands, you want to angle them out just slightly. And you're just gonna rock a little bit back and forth, keeping the core tight. Rock the hips up, quads, get a nice stretch here, lower back should release. If you're tighter in your shoulders, you could also do one at a time like this, dropping that knee to get the quad stretch. And we'll come back and take a nice Hamstring stretch. And here, go ahead and flex your feet. We always want to flex to get that nice long stretch through the heel and the foot as well. You can grab, if you have a towel or just, you know, an old shirt or whatever, or a new shirt, doesn't matter. You can take that, wrap around the ball of the feet and pull. Honestly, this part, the head part, the upper body doesn't matter as much. You mainly want to focus on creating as long of a line. It's like doing this, but you should get the stretch the whole way. So pull it back, take a deep inhale. And on that exhale, if you can, relax the upper back. I mean, you can do it. It just might be uncomfortable, as it was for me when I was first learning how to touch my toes. My dog is trying to play with me right now. Hey. Okay. All right, so go ahead and start to roll out the ankles. Y'all up in my shot, bro. Yep, circles in the ankles. Wiggle the toes a little bit. Just gonna check on this. All right, yeah, so y'all just keep doing that. I'm just making sure, is there a way for me to hide the comments? I mean, just so I can see my, that's all right. All right, and now we'll take it to downward dog. So we got the ankles warmed up. Actually, let's come feet together. Just squeeze the toes, squeeze the feet, ankles, shins, everything. And bring the feet parallel now. Just outside of hip width, and you're gonna drop. Internal rotation. From now, take one side, external rotation, twist from the lower back. My dog is genuinely like, who are you talking to, bro? I like to lean back here a little bit, right? If you really want to get the glute stretch, you lean into it like that. Try to squeeze in a pretzel. But when you get lower back, you lean back more. You can drop the hips and twist. You try to keep that shoulder back. Don't let it rotate with the leg. Keep it back, open. And you just wiggle back and forth or hold the stretch until it loosens up, and then you can shake out your leg, switch to the other side. Usually I'll do this 2 or 3 times back and forth, short bursts instead of one long stretch, but some days I just sit in the stretch because I'm too tired. All right, next thing we're gonna do is start to massage out our calves with a handy dandy tool called our knee. If you do have one of these, lacrosse ball, any type of massage ball, tennis ball, whatever, you can use that. Literally just put it on the ground, you know how we do. And otherwise, you can just use your knee like that. What I do is I don't really massage it back and forth like this. I just kind of move my foot and the muscles automatically activate. And then you find those pressure points. This is a great one to do while you're reading. I'll often be reading like this. Or you could be sitting down doing this. Right? Literally just sitting, massaging out the back of the calf, which loosens up the whole ankle, foot area, knee, Just gets all that circulation going. And lastly, you could just literally massage the back of the calf like that. I like to squeeze and turn this. Get the outside, get the inside, top, bottom. So let's just do that for another couple of minutes. All right. Once you're done doing the massage, we'll go into some downward dog and planks, just to strengthen the core and stretch out the whole posterior chain. So that's just this. Through to the plate, and back. Now, as you do this, when you're in downward dog and you come through to the plank, think of pressing your toes into the floor to get length through the feet and the calves. So I'll show it from the side. Here, raise the calves, the heels, and press through. Drive through the heels. And then just bring it through to a nice lunge. Opposite arm up as leg and stretch out. This is another good time for the chair. If you struggle with balance or you just want to relax more in the stretch, just take the chair to the side or whatever you have, really. A box could work. And the idea is the video is kind of narrow so you can't really see, but I'm lengthening through the finger, right? I'm not just stretching over, stretching up and out and then over. And you always do that with the breath. Inhale, fill the lungs, exhale, and from there you can move out of it, loosen out, all right? So let's do that other side. Make sure that you're also getting a good lunge here in the hip flexor. Oh, and also you want to make sure before you go up that you drive the hip forward. Get those hips in place first so they're active rather than passive back here. And then go into that side stretch. All right, now we're fairly loose. Let's see. I'm just trying to see who's still up in here. Okay, well, we got a couple people. That's what I expected. I just wish I could hide the comments, so I'm sure I can. No, I can't. Okay, anyway. So if you do have a chair, or it could be your couch, side of the couch, like that. Whatever you've got, go ahead and grab that. And we're just gonna do some inverted push-ups. If you don't have it, you can do regular push-ups, but I like to start with inverted just to get the form right. When it comes to a chair, I like to be right on the outside, about hip, shoulder width. Lights just went out. Okay. So I just come in, drop the shoulder blades. We're not gonna even do a push-up yet. Just gonna retract your shoulder blades. Try to keep the elbow straight. Down. And up. Once you're comfortable, engage the glute and the core. Right, you can round the back a little bit. And go for a push-up. Once you're done, take the top of the chair and just stretch out. Take a deep breath, let the weight of your head deepen the stretch. I can't emphasize enough, every time you exhale, you want to make sure you're resisting less and less to hold yourself up. You're just going with gravity. So that's the first stretch. Once you can do that for as long as you need to. And the second one is with the elbows on the chair like this. Make prayer hands and you drop your head below the chair. From here, we're just going to contract up. Bring your belly button to your spine and then exhale. Drop the tailbone up and the head up. So it looks like this and out. Do that about 8-10 times. And you can also take your hands and move them overhead. So you get a nice stretch on the triceps and then extend. So you pull them and extend. Take your time with this. Don't put any unnecessary, oh, I keep turning the lights off. Any unnecessary pressure on your joints. Once you're done with double, do the same thing, single. So you got the top of the chair. The way I like to really set it up is put one hand down and the other up so that you can control your weight. Again, if you don't have a chair, I forgot to mention, you can just use the wall. Let's see. So you just take the wall like that. Same thing, contract, release, contract, release. And then you do that single arm. And once you're done extending that arm high overhead, we'll do the same thing but to the side. So just go against a wall, place the hand so it's rotated with the thumb up. All right, like that. And you're just gonna push, look over like you're trying to see your hand on the other side. And you can play around with the angle, high or low, to change the stretch, find the optimal spot. Generally, just to our natural anatomy, it's around here, maybe a little bit higher, a little bit lower. But yeah, it's different for everybody. Let's turn this up a little. All right, go ahead and grab your towel, your shirt. Ooh, my hair is all frizzy. All right, so yeah, we'll take the towel now, and we start to warm up the core. Let's actually start forward, back, front, back, flat back. And pull it up. This is flat. And up. And then you do the same thing side to side. round and round. And I'll go ahead and do another set of push-ups. And if you do, I forgot to say for the equipment list, but if you do have one of these TheraBands, go ahead and grab that. We're gonna do some rows. If you don't have access to rows, what you can do is grab like a doorway inside of a door and pull yourself, but that takes a little more coordination. So hopefully you have one of these. If not, just give you an alternative here. Just gonna do your back sit-ups. Right, just come on the ground here. Come up, extend, and drop. Come up to the front, pull it back, extend to the T, drop. So it's T, W, I, reset. I, W, T. I think you can see. Again, if you do have one of these, we're just gonna do our band pull aparts, like so. Straight out. Keeping high sternum, rib cage in, high sternum. Oh yeah, I have extra here. My sister's doing class with me. So. I got hella TheraBands. Probably got like 8 of these things. Essential. Gotta get you one. Maybe I'll post in the YouTube, in the Amazon, Jesus. Facebook group list some equipment that you could all buy now that we're staying at home most of the time. You can do some of these exercises sitting down, laying down even. And you can do them while you're waiting for your food to cook or binge watch the next Netflix episode. Just do this while you're watching it. So these are the we had the pull aparts here. I like to do them with both the palms down and the harder version, I think, palms up. Really want to make sure when you do this, I'm trying to teach and talk to the camera, but when you do this, you pull the shoulder blades back, right? So this is what, you don't want to pull from here. See where my shoulders are? You want to retract the shoulders and then pull from the back. These are just great basic muscle activation principles. And then the last one is behind the back, extend. And yeah, it looks like we just have 2 people watching. I can't really tell. But yeah, okay, we got 3 people. Can y'all tell me if you do have a TheraBand or not? All right, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm sure people will see this after the live anyway, so this is what I would normally do. Step on the band and choke up pretty high. If you're worried about your grip, you can start at the top, wrap your hands around like that, right? Top, wrap, and pull. And we're just gonna stick out the hips a little bit, retract the shoulder blades, try to find a nice tabletop, and just row your way up. Row. Since the bands are pretty light, I like to just crank them out. I don't usually go super slow. I just bow, bow. Taking deep breaths, high reps, but making sure that we're always pulling through the back. Once you get tired with that, I don't even count. I just do it until I get tired, basically. We'll go into our resistance deadlifts. So I like to choke up pretty high, and you're just gonna press through, open the shoulders at the top, shoulder blades, knees, hips, keep that flat back, drive up. hips, knees, shoulders don't drop. Keep engaged in the upper back. Come back. Ow. Yeah, keep doing that like 10 times, at least. If y'all don't know, 6 o'clock, we dancing. Don't forget. All right, let's keep going now. Got another like 6 of these. Deadlifts. Squeeze the butt at the top. Lead with the hips. And why not? Let's add 2 rows. 1, 2. Drive up. And once you get the technique of it, you want to just go through it. You don't want to go hella slow. You know, crank it, up, and reset. Cool.
You see, I wake up every morning, tie my sneakers, walk down the block, as the beat does, rock to it, drop it, mark to it, fuck it up, rock to it.
All right, next let's come to the mat again, and we're gonna do some core work. Again, if you do have a TheraBand, I encourage you to use it, but it's not necessary. My dog is hella just chilling right now in front of me. So funny. Unbothered. Okay, so yeah, TheraBand optional. If you don't have it, just do regular body weight. We're just gonna come back and up. Extend the spine. Again, if you don't have it, you can place your hands back more like that. Tuck the chin. And then raise, lift at the top. Tuck, lift, tuck, open the back and the shoulders and lift. Mic check.
Roman, or write a thought like a gigawatt into the future.
Let's keep doing that.
We could try out all of these maneuvers. As the scenery floats by, the buildings look so fly. You better give them back his toy or else that kid gon' cry. Mothers and sons, everyone from old to young, the spectrum of life, the city shown with decadent life.
Now to add a little more challenge, come back, place your back, tuck in, out, and raise.
Everybody gather
Back,
down and let the madness begin.
Out.
My assessment was smoking refreshments, antidepressants, and harsh life lessons. I think we all can see the stars above the sorrow. Let's meet again and do this shit tomorrow. Step outside, no matter if you're chilling or you fly. Let's take the train or the bus or the whip and just glide.
Another variation.
Stay inside.
This is V up.
Likes a joyride. Step outside, no matter
With this one, if you're using your hip flexors too much, cool. You can do this with a towel too, by the way, or a shirt.
Step outside, no matter if you're chilling or you're flying. Let's take the train or the bus or the whip and just glide. It's a beautiful day, no need to stay inside, cause everybody likes a joyride.
But clearly with the band, you get more range of motion, more balance.
A beautiful day, no need to stay inside.
So you can tuck the knees or you can extend. Sorry, my socks are hella dirty. Well, they look dirty, but they're clean. Alright, so boom. Raise. Again, without the band, use your hands. Same thing, okay? Alright, you probably did enough of those by now. Again, I don't really count. I try not to count because then I get all in my head. I try to just breathe, listen to my body, and when I feel like I've gotten to the point of, oh, that's my last one, I push it another few. Just good training for the mind-body connection. Next one, we'll do our side to side, arms wide, twist into the oblique. Just over the cone, tap the floor. You You want to squeeze the feet and the knees together. Don't let them separate. Lead with the hip. If you prefer, you can do this laying down. Arms wide in the T. Personally, I think it's always best to have the upper back up. Just less support, more work for the core. All right, relax. Last one we'll do in and out, one more set, and then we're gonna stretch out the quads. Once you feel the burn, and I wish I meant the Bernie Sanders, but I don't. You come around, stretch it out. Cobra. Drop the shoulders away. If your shoulders are too high up, walk your hands a little closer, away from the body, I mean. Drop the shoulders, and then just go back to child's pose. From child's pose, you're gonna roll up, hips up, tuck the chin. All the way up. Walk the hands. Actually, for fun, let's catch yourself. But if you don't want to, walk yourself out. Again, drop, push up. Extend cobra. Lead with the hips. Roll up to the spine. Tuck the chin. And just keep doing that. Just one circuit. You can do a few push-ups if you want. Child's pose. Roll out. All right, one more set. Let's come through. Oh, actually, sorry. Just stay there. We'll do our hover. So you're gonna bring the knees just off the ground, and you're just gonna shift from left side to right side. Left, right. Make sure you keep your, so relative, your arm shouldn't be up here or down. Here you want it right in front, wrist, elbow, shoulder on top. Right, so we're not back here. That's not gonna work your core. You gotta be on top of the wrist. Just lift. As you lift, drop your hip a little bit. So lift, drop, little twist. Good, now let's try the step through. Step, step. And last one, Frogger, in and out. We don't have to do a lot of these, just quick bursts. All right, stretch it out. Again, if you have your chair, take another stretch on the chair. It could be a table, it could be a countertop, honestly, a couch, anything. And speaking of those things, that's gonna be our next exercise in just a minute. So we're gonna do, we got about 10 minutes. Let's do some glute work. And then we'll finish stretching out the quads, like I said, and all that good stuff. So we're just gonna show from the side, 90 degrees, come up, and drop. Let's go for about 16 reps each side. Tabletop, 1, 2. Focus on pointing your knee down, don't let it open. Don't let the hip open. And also don't let the leg extend. Keep it 90 degrees, so you keep the flex in the hamstring and the glute. That's 8. Just do about 16 each side, 10. The goal is to get the leg fairly tired so that when we stretch it, it just relaxes into the stretch. Because the strengthening aspect gives us awareness of our bodies. And then the stretch allows us to unlock all those stiff points or areas of like stress-induced knots, you know, like everything adds up to our mental and our emotional capacity, how we're feeling in our bodies. So after this, we're gonna drop right into the hamstring stretch. You can do this single side or double side. I personally like to do single. And from here, use your chair or whatever your stabilizer is, your furniture. And you're gonna shift from the front to the outside of the leg to facing towards and all the way around to the other side. The more directions you can get, the better. And if you get tired, just take a lunge for a second, come back into it. Keep in mind that you want to stretch your IT band out, not just the back of the hamstring, but the other band. So just by rotating the foot from the hip, right? Not just the foot, but the shoulder or the hip socket, and then lean into it, and you're gonna get it all on the outside. Woo! I feel that. Too much sitting down, man. It'll have your legs real tight. A little Brazilian bossa nova feel for you. Since I'm streaming from my iPhone, I don't have control over the sounds. I got my whole tech setup up in here. Hey Dennis, what up? All right, so other side, if you haven't done it. If you have done both sides, again, rotating inward, outward, using the chair, the floor, whatever you can. A big dog, if you got a dog next to you as support. Once you're done with that, we get into one of my favorite, almost all-time favorite stretches, which is not just the pigeon stretch, nor just the figure four, but the two of them together to get a really deep stretch in the glute, the hip, lower back. So you come to your chair like so. Let me get one shot here. Like that. You see I'm using my back leg as support, and you just kind of lean your body on it. And the further you drop this other leg down, the back leg down, the more stretch you're gonna get on the rotated leg. Again, if you use more support, like you use a wall, I like to get right on top of it, drop the hand down for support, drop this leg back, kind of like a tripod, and you try to sink in. But as you do it, I mean, I'm going pretty far. You might only be able to go a little bit. Just make sure you're not putting pressure on the knee, right? You want the stretch in the hip on the back. If for any reason this is too intense for you, maybe you just need to stretch this area a little more, in which you can do the original pigeon stretch, which is, I mean, it's just as effective, but that other one is going to get you more flexibility, more mobility in less time. Once you're done with that, we'll finish off with the quad stretch. So just a regular quad stretch, you can do it like this from the ground. If you want to continue using your chair, you just grab like that. And then if you have something else to hold on to, like a wall, just use that. I don't know. Pull this up. You kind of let the knee extend, pull it back into the stretch. Just make sure when you're doing this, you're well supported. So like for instance, this would be a perfect setup. The back of my couch, sort of messy couch, like that. Can y'all see? It's not enough. There we go. Right, so you have a nice support, and you got that, and you can just control with your arms and your other leg how deep into the stretch you go. You can kind of lean into it for support. All right, so that's that. Hey, Lauren, what's happening? I may as well wave at everybody. The digital revolution. Wait, for real though, next time maybe we'll do this on Zoom so that we can like actually communicate with each other. That might be cool. I don't know. Facebook's cool too. All right, so we got a few minutes left. We're just gonna do some movement-based stuff that should leave you feeling nice and loose. So we're going to take arm across, open it up. Take it across. And open. Just kind of twisting side to side. Find a stable spot. Clasp the hands. And if you can, take a lean forward. Lift the chest, look up. Drop the shoulders.